goodness. Oh. Hi, good morning. Let me see if I can get this light to work. Good morning. I'm just giving people a few minutes to come in. And thanks for being here. So as you know, we're going to be doing a live session this morning, myself and Vanessa, and we're going to be talking about fibroids and their impact on our lives, particularly infertility, miscarriage, and loss. So I'm just going to bring her in, and then we're going to give people the chance to come on in. I hope your morning is going pretty well. If I can get this to work. I am trying. Let me see. There she is.
Oh, am I sideways?
Well, I think I really want mine to be sideways as well. So there.
And people, I wonder, is this working?
I think this is perfect.
Okay. Good
This is
morning.
Hey,
What's
how
up?
was your morning?
How are you?
I'm good. How was your morning so far?
Good, good. Yes, good. Running around, getting ready. I was like,
Oh my gosh, same.
time is
Same.
like moved.
Me too. I'm so glad we're doing this, guys. You
Yes,
just don't understand. This is a big thing. So we're just praying that this will be informative to you guys. It'll help you, and we can all just share here.
right.
And so, okay, I guess we're going to just go ahead and kick it on off.
I think
So
I think we're I think we gotta switch. It says fix the screen.
it
Um,
does. It does say that on my end. Okay. I mean, I'll turn it upside down if they want.
Here, I'm gonna have to go in a different place then. Hold on.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Be right with you. Yeah, we're just we're just trying to make sure we get all the bugs worked out. Can you guys see me okay? Or would you prefer that I turn the camera?
I think the other way, yeah. Like up and down.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. Let me where is 1 second.
No problem. In the meantime, hi everybody. So glad to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining.
Okay. I hope this is better.
It's good. Okay. All right, great. It's fine.
Okay.
Awesome. So, all right, good morning, everybody. I don't know who's all here from which platform, but my name is Sandra Nicole Hill, and I talk about fibroids here on Instagram and here on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook as well. And this is Vanessa, and she has her own platform, and she does the same. So this morning we are here to just discuss If you're here, then more than likely you have been impacted or you know of someone who has been impacted by fibroids. And more specifically, fibroids as it pertains to infertility and loss, miscarriage, and that touchy subject there. So we're just going to kick it on off and get started. So glad to be here with you, Vanessa. So glad you could join me here.
Same here. I'm so excited to do this. I mean, this
I am too.
we've been talking back and forth about this. We took the leap and we said, you know what? We have to talk about it. So,
Do because there are so many women that are going through it. You know, we're not the only ones in this.
mhm.
And I actually, I get a lot of people to reach out to me to ask questions about that. And even though it is a kind of a touchy subject, I think that it's one that does need to be addressed or talked about because so many other women and men, they're going through it. So
Right.
here we are.
Yes.
Now I took some notes. So just to kind of keep things moving along, but I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. Anyway, so I started off by introducing myself and what brought me here. So I guess my introduction into fibroids very quickly started about 6 years ago. I just noticed that my stomach just kept getting bigger and bigger, and I knew I wasn't pregnant. And so the hardness is eventually what drove me to the doctor's office, was diagnosed with fibroids in 2015. It was the crappiest birthday I'd ever had. So yeah, it was around my birthday when I was diagnosed. And so for 6 years, I addressed my diet, and our stories are very similar in that regard. I decided to not go with the surgery route. So for 6 years, I addressed my diet, and over the years, I got better and better until eventually I joined a group of women who are healing from fibroids, and things just got better. I went electric vegan. I even went raw vegan for like a quarter of a year. This was in 2021, so last year, until I just decided that I had enough. I couldn't take it anymore. After doctor visit after doctor visit, I'm being told that, okay, it's within this range. It was always within the 16, 17-meter range, the biggest ones. And so I just got to the point I just couldn't take it anymore. And on this topic, I just kept seeing all of my friends getting pregnant, even family members getting pregnant. And I'm just like, okay, I put up a good fight. This has been a good battle, and I have, got a lot of healing in along the way, but it's time to just end this and get my full healing and just let's do this. So had surgery last year, August 2022, and here I am. So once I had surgery, my doctor told me that the type of surgery that she had to perform on me, blessedly, the biggest fibroid was pedunculated. So she didn't have to do a lot of digging into me in order to get that one. But she did have to do some digging in order to get the others.
Yeah.
So 9 months, she told us 9 months before we could start trying. So that was August of last year. So April or May was the 9 month mark. I went to the doctor and she gave us the go ahead. And so we've only been trying for a few months now, but still, when you've been waiting for, oh so long,
Yeah.
it's just like, when
Yeah.
is this going to happen?
Right. And it's funny because the doctors will count from the time you did the surgery and they're like, oh, well, it's only been, I don't know, 3 or 6 months post-op. And you're like, no, I've been waiting for.
Yeah, for like 3 years, like 4 years. In my case, um, my husband and I started trying in 2018. But I had the fibroids. And honestly, looking back, I'm glad I didn't get pregnant with the fibroids because when I had surgery and I saw what they took out of me, I was just like, oh my God, I don't, God, thank you. I want my babies, yes, and but thank you because you guys, I don't know if you'd like to watch that video, but I did a video of my surgery and the fibroids that they took out of me. So you understand why I'm glad I waited to have surgery before started trying to conceive. So that's my story. And if you want, Vanessa, feel free to share your story. What brought you here?
Well, thank you for sharing your, that gave me just some more insight on your journey. And we have a lot of similarities. We have a little bit of differences, but some similarities.
We do.
So my journey started around the same time. I was diagnosed with fibroids, with one very small fibroid in 2016. And the doctors at the time just told me that it was really small. There was really nothing that I needed to do about it, just kind of a watch and wait kind of situation. And so at the time, I didn't really, I took what the doctor said for face value, and I didn't do any further digging or research to see, like, is this going to affect me later on? Is it going to give me problems? So I just continued my life as it was. And in 2018, I noticed that my cycles had just gotten really, really bad. It was horrendous, which I'm sure that you have experienced. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just the just horrible periods, having to change every 30 minutes, having to always have your stuff with you when you go to the store. Your sheets, everything. Just, I don't want to get too much into it, but it was embarrassing. And um so I finally went to the doctor in 2018 when it just got to be so bad, and I was told that I needed to have surgery. So at the time I was 29, no kids, never been pregnant. And I'm like, surgery? I'm not trying to get cut. Like, I'm trying to. So I tried to find some minimally invasive procedures that I could perhaps do, because I did not want to get that big C-section cut. I was like, I'm too young for this. Like, no. Um, so I ended up having an in-office procedure. It's called a closed myomectomy. So they go in through the cervix as opposed to cutting through the abdomen. And the doctor was not able to get the fibroids out, of course.
Mm.
So it was, and I was awake during the whole procedure too.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So I felt everything. It was horrible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many procedures. When I talk to women, I mean, not to cut you off, but just to add that there are so many procedures out there that I knew nothing about. I just thought there was myomectomy, there was a natural route, there were a couple of others, laparoscopic, and there are so many others. I'm just like, you can do that, or they can do that?
I mean, I feel like the one that this doctor was trying to do may have been ideal for somebody that just has fibroids within the cavity but are small. So
Mm-hmm. Okay.
not fibroids that are necessarily already attached to your uterine wall and, all this involvement and stuff like that. So the main problem one, and the one that bothered me for all so many years until I finally got it removed, it was the one that was right in the back of my uterus, within the wall of my uterus. So it was impossible for him to be able to get that out with me being awake and
Jeez.
screaming and crying and like
So
just
did you feel it? Was there anesthetic or anesthesia?
um it was very minimal, just like some numbing spray that the doctor.
Oh gosh, no. Oh my goodness.
So knowing what I know now, I would never agree to do anything like that awake.
And what was this procedure? What was this called?
At the time, it was called MyoSure. Uh,
My Assure.
yeah, and it's basically a closed myomectomy. So,
Ooh, oh my. Like
um,
it's already traumatizing enough. but to be awake and to go through that, ow.
Right. Um, so that one was incomplete. It was a fail. And so that was in 2018, and we had started trying to have a baby. Even with that going on, because you see women get pregnant with fibroids and you hear about all
Mhm.
the stories and you're like, well, maybe that could be me too. Like,
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
Um, so that entire year after that first surgery, my cycles just got worse and worse, and I was having these like random hemorrhage episodes. So the fibroids were actually starting to degenerate. So whatever he did, it caused them to start to
Like
burst.
calcify. Oh, wow.
Right. And so I ended up, it was so painful. And I said, I need to get this addressed, but I still don't want to get cut. So 2019, I ended up having the UFE, which is uterine fibroid embolization,
Hmm.
which had a lot of mixed reviews about pregnancy and being able to conceive
Hmm.
that. But my aunt actually had it, and she had a daughter like 2 years after she had it done. So I said, well, I know somebody that got this done and had a
Right.
baby, and I still don't want to get cut. So I ended up getting the UFE, and then I went vegan after that. And we really, really started trying. We're like, okay, get the UFE done, shrink them down to a decent size,
Hmm.
get pregnant, go vegan, and kind of go on that trail or that route. So after the UFE, I went vegan, and we tried for like 9 months and nothing. Not a not a faint line, not a maybe, nothing. I mean, my cycles came on time every month, like clockwork. So I ended up having a HSG test, which is the dye test, where they push the dye through your tubes,
Hmm. To see if your tubes are blocked.
right, to see if you can get pregnant.
Hmm.
And girl, because I still had the fibroids, it was so painful. It was,
Really?
yes, because the UFE just shrunk them down a bit and made them calcified, but it didn't remove them from the positions that they were in my uterus.
Hmm.
So I think that's what made it even more like painful and uncomfortable. But that's when I found out that the location of where they were, it was blocking the fluid from getting inside of the tubes.
Oh, so the fibroids were still in you when you had that HSG and they were blocking okay.
Right. And this is after months of being vegan, taking herbs,
That
like,
must have been so frustrating.
and I was just, so I went to the doctor and they're like, oh yeah, there's no way that your uterus is in any condition to hold a pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. And I was devastated. I was just like, you mean to tell me I'm thinking to myself, did all this work? I was like, me and my man both went vegan. I mean, it was,
Oh, you got your man to go vegan, girl. I don't know how you did it.
well, I just stopped buying.
That didn't work for me. I stopped buying meat too. He bring meat home and eat it. It's
Oh,
like, you know what you oh.
it's bad. But
But
it's
I
hard.
know all too well how frustrating that must have been. Oh my God. Been there.
Yes. So, okay. So, okay. Couldn't get not find now I found out, well, you can't get pregnant because the things are still blocking there. So I'm like, you know what? Just take them out. Just I'm done.
Yeah.
Just be done with it. So I ended up having the open myomectomy, I believe the same year that you did, but 6 months before you did.
Oh, okay.
Because I had mine in March. Um,
That was last year, 2021.
yes.
Yeah, at that point, I'd had enough. I'd had enough when my niece got pregnant, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I fought the good fight. Let's just do this. I surrender. And even the night before I had surgery, I don't think I put this in any of my videos, but the night I had surgery, I got so freaked, so scared. I was just like, babe, I don't think I can do this. He's like, you're going to do this. You're going to do this. Okay, we've been going through this for too long. You
Yeah.
said you were done. You're going to do this. So I did it. And honestly, I don't regret it at all because even though I started eating well, the food, the diet, it really did help to minimize the symptoms. As a matter of fact, before I had surgery, I was pretty much asymptomatic. I didn't have any symptoms because before I addressed my diet, my periods were like 10 to 12 days. The first day being so awful. I never really had the problem with the heavy bleeding, considering how big the biggest fibroid was. I never really had a problem with the heavy bleeding, except on the first 2 days. And then after that, it would always taper off. It just lasted 12 days.
Oh my God.
And so, yeah, so I had that issue. But, once I started addressing my diet, all that went away. All of it went away. And even after surgery now, I'm probably going to do a video about this. A lot of people ask, so how have you been after surgery? How's everything going? Down there in that region. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should do a video and let you guys know, it's been really, really good. It hasn't been perfect. And I did want to address, those things probably in the video or unless someone asks, but it's, I haven't regretted it all. It's just that, even though my husband and I have only been trying like 4 months or so, it's still like, okay, I did everything. I did the diets. I took care of myself. I had the surgery. What's going on? So, I just sometimes, well, I have felt like I did everything right. I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. And,
There's
I
the
still don't, yeah, I still don't have what I want. So, like, you know, what more do I have to do? And it's hard to reach this point because I'm like, at this point, besides IVF, I'm not sure if there's anything I can do except continue to take care of myself and maybe take the vitamins and herbs and just continue to do my part with my husband. And so, and it's kind of hard to feel like it's kind of out of my hands at this point. It's up to God and my body to do what it does naturally. So, how has that process been for you?
well, I will tell you that so we started our TTC trying to conceive journey back in 2018, and after 3 surgeries, I was just I think the last surgery really I took a mental hit, like a big mental and emotional hit, because
Yeah.
after that last surgery, I was expecting every month that we were trying for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
It patient, and when I would see the negative results, it put me into a state of
Of depression, kind
yes.
of. Yeah, I was there too. And yeah, my husband would be like, look, you're putting way too much pressure on yourself. And I'm like, I know you get it because you've been here with me. But you're not a woman. You don't get it. And I don't know, men, if you're here, that you can kind of provide the manly perspective, but it's just I can't help but think it's just different for women. It just is. I mean, I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like it's just different. It's different. The journey, we're on the same path, we're on the same journey, my husband and I, but it's different. It's like having a baby. Of course you're going to be a father, but it's different for me. I'm the one carrying this kid. I'm the one going through my body is the one making all of these changes. You're here with me, but it's different. It's like if something was going on abnormal in his body. I'm here with you, but it's different for you. It's a different part of journey for you because it's your body.
Right. And it's almost as if, like, as a woman, we're putting this pressure on ourselves because of what we've gone through, but also just putting in the back of our minds too that I just I tell myself this all the time. I just want my body to do what it was created
What
to
it's supposed to do, right?
do. I mean, just I would love
Mhm.
to get pregnant. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I would love to for my body to do what it was created to do and for me to not have to go through all these things. But then, you don't want to put yourself in that situation and make yourself feel any less than how you should feel about yourself, right? And so I'm really big on self-care and just really trying to remind myself, like, you have a unique journey, you have a unique story, and not every woman has the same experiences that you have. Everybody struggles with something. um, so this just happens to be the test that that God has given me and he's given you. So we just have to stay encouraged. And, after the myomectomy, I did have, it was really, really difficult for me to stay on track with being vegan and just stay
Mm. Yeah.
month after month of trying and trying and trying. So, um, I had the myomectomy in March and I ended up having a repeat HSG in December. So 9 months after surgery, I said, I need to see if these tubes are open because
Mhm.
we're trying and nothing is happening. And I found out that one of my tubes were completely wide open and the other side, they said, was either blocked or absent, which
Mm.
I don't know what's going on with the other side. But they were like, yeah, you can definitely get pregnant. And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. And I was like, for real?
Mhm. Gave you such hope. And
Um, and so I remember the day of my the day of that second HSG, after the radiologist had told me my results, I remember being so happy. And I don't know if he thought that I was gonna not be happy because one side was blocked, or I don't know what was going on with the other side, what happened to it. But I was so overjoyed, and I went in the bathroom to change, and this scripture came up on my phone, and it said something like, I can't remember exactly what it said, but it said something like she's gonna have a son, and she's gonna name him
oh,
Emmanuel. And this was back in December, and I remember seeing the scripture, and I just felt like, God, is that you? Are you trying?
it's nothing like having messages like that pop up on your phone or in your spirit or someone else kind of telling you a prophecy. It's nothing like it. It's like,
Yeah.
that you?
So
God, that's not you.
so that was the day, that was back in December, and I held on to that scripture. I was like, God, are you trying to tell me that I'm gonna have a son? Like, are you really telling me that? And just, I felt this, every time I would pray to get pregnant, I would pray from my son, and I would speak his name, and I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna get to, how I'm gonna meet you, how this is gonna happen. Um,
Yeah.
but that gave me courage, and so we tried a few more cycles, and then I said, I don't know if my body can do this. Like, I reached a point that I said, I don't know if my body can naturally do this, so maybe let's see about IVF. And so,
Yeah.
we started the IVF process, like all the blood works and everything like that. I met the doctor, loved the doctor, and I said, oh man, God, I don't know if I'm built to do IVF, but I really want this baby. Um,
Mm.
2 weeks, yeah, 2 weeks or a week, something crazy like that. I think it was 2 weeks before we were supposed to start IVF. I found out I was pregnant.
Woo!
Um,
Oh, that is so nice.
yeah, it was so shocking because I didn't think that my body could do it. Like after,
All you've been through, all the years.
right. And it was just like, nah, for real? Like,
Mhm.
so we carried, I carried our baby until almost 11 weeks. I didn't have any ultrasounds prior. I wanted to wait until I got into my second trimester because my mom, she's old school and she's from the Caribbean, and she's like, I didn't get any ultrasounds until I was like 6 months or something. Like, she's like, America different, but when I had you, I didn't get anything until a certain week in my pregnancy, and then I didn't have any more ultrasounds. So I was trying to go off of that, and being that it was a natural pregnancy, I said
Mhm.
maybe I can wait until at least my second trimester. And I felt fine. I wasn't nauseous. I felt completely okay. Um, and so a week before I was supposed to have my first ultrasound is when I started miscarrying. And
Wow.
yeah, and so that, it's that happened, and so now we're going through the process after to try to determine why I had the miscarriage. um
Yeah.
so
I'm so sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. But that at least, proves that your body can indeed conceive a baby
Right.
and carry a
Right.
baby.
Mhm.
So, I haven't conceived a baby yet. And
Yet.
that's something that that's something that you have been able to do, which is such an amazing blessing. I mean, wow. So, but you're gonna have another little angel. I just know it.
Yeah.
I just know it. I just feel it. I mean, I don't know. I just can feel it. Just
Yeah.
know it. Yes. The save trauma therapist. Yet, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I can only imagine what a miscarriage does to a person. I do know of women. I have friends who have miscarried, and I don't know. It's just such a heavy thing that I don't ask them anything. If they're anything like me, I guess I treat everyone like me, and so I don't talk a whole lot about this part of my journey. That's why it's such a big deal that we're doing this live now, because the people who follow me know that I don't really talk a lot about it. I have brushed over it in my videos, but I don't talk a whole lot about it. But anyway, I just treat everybody kind of like me, like, okay, I'm not gonna ask them unless they bring it up. I mean, of course, I'll, be there to support them, but it's such a sensitive topic or sensitive thing that I don't really ask that much about it. Not sure if that's the best way to do it, but as of right now, I don't. I think that it's just my way of being respectful to people, unless they want to talk about it. But I can only imagine, what it's like to endure that and go through that for you and all the other women who've had miscarriages.
Mhm. It, you know, it's it I can't even.
Put in the words.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And you don't really have to if you can't put in the words. Every people know. People know. Even those who haven't been through it know that it's, you know, just like fibroids, it could be traumatizing. I'm not speaking it on you, but fibroids is a traumatizing thing. It's
Girl,
traumatizing.
we're
It's so traumatizing.
so bad. Um,
It's
fibro
it really is.
fibroids are so, and I've talked to women that have had fibroids, have gotten pregnant, and then ended up losing their babies.
Yeah,
And so in some sense, you kind of have to think about if it hasn't happened yet, then what is God sparing you from, right?
right.
What kind of pain did he see down the line that he's like, nah, let me not even give her that because
Yeah,
I don't think that she's, you know what I'm
can
saying?
handle that.
Right.
Right.
Um,
And Jesus, I keep saying the fibroids that were taken out of me, I mean, they were massive. I don't know if you saw the video, but they were, I mean, the biggest one was like the size of a football. And I am not exaggerating. It
I
was,
I saw the pictures of your stomach on I forgot which video that I
oh,
saw. And
yeah,
oh my gosh, like they were big.
it was huge. My mouth fell open when my doctor showed me what came out of me. And I was just like, Are you are you freaking kidding me? That was in me the whole time? No wonder, you know. And then I imagined that if I had gotten pregnant with that thing in me, and then they tend to grow during pregnancy as well. It's like,
Hmm.
thank you, Lord.
Yeah, it's and you kind of have to think about it too. Like you said, you don't know, we don't know what kind of pain that God has spared you from, as to why you didn't conceive when you had them. Um, so now the uterus is nice and clean, and there's no block, no fibroids. There's nothing in there that would prevent your baby from having a nice, healthy environment to grow. And that should be, that's just, you're way more ahead in your journey than you can realize or that you could interpret, sometimes. So,
I think so. I've had people reach out and they're just like, I've had surgery and I'm still feeling this way. Like, someone reached out to me not too long ago and was like, I still have bloating. There's still hardness, even though I've had surgery. It's been a month after I've had surgery. And, bless her heart, she's still having some bleeding. And I'm just like, I truly, my prayers go out to you and, just start taking care of yourself diet wise. And I would definitely see my doctor or see your doctor with your concerns. Um, but, it just got me to just thinking like all the 6 years of hell that I went through with fibroids, trying to clean up my diet, and it was tough. It was tough, especially becoming unaddicted from sugar. Sugar really is a drug. That is a drug. I don't care what anyone says. It was so hard becoming unaddicted from sugar and bread and dairy. Oh my God.
yes, all the stuff that we love to eat or that we're
Yes.
eating over the years, high inflammatory foods, they're not good for us in the long run. They're not good for our wombs. They're not good for our bodies in general. So,
They're not. And so, all the crap that I went through over the years, I'm glad that I took the route of let me address this holistically. Let me address my diet. Let me address me before I have the surgery because, if you're here, then we all know a lot of the story about fibroids and, how if you can have surgery, then they have a high chance of coming back or medium to high chance of coming back. And I just didn't want to go through that again. So I was like, well, let me just address my diet and, cut out and let me just do it that way. But I'm glad that I did because now that the fibroids are gone, like you said, once I had surgery, I did start going back to eating some of the foods that were not vegan
mhm.
and were not alkaline and plant based. But, it's like I had a new lease on life. Like, oh, okay, now give me these oxtails, give me this chicken, give me this, give me this, oh, and so, but I wouldn't allow myself to go too crazy, which, is a training and discipline over the years. I wouldn't let myself get back addicted to sugar because I remember what it was like becoming unaddicted from it and bread and dairy. So I didn't even have the taste for that. Not really. Thank God. But just like, yeah, it's just like you said earlier, it was just hard to get back to that place, that vegan, because we were desperate. We had a goal in mind. We're like, these things have got to go. And so that process after surgery has been, I've reeled it back in, blessedly. I have reeled it back in. And so now I think I'm at a balance point. I'm not plant-based, not entirely, but I just take care of my body as it needed. If it gets to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little sloggy, time to add more fruit and veggies and just eat that for a week. So it's just about balance right
Right.
now.
Yeah. And I like what you said about balance and knowing, just learning your body and knowing what you need and what you feel that you need for the day or for the next few days. Um,
Yeah.
and a big indicator of like, oh, how did I eat this month is your cycle. You know,
Yeah.
your cycle will tell you based on
Your cycle will tell you. It will definitely tell you.
your cycle and your skin, right?
Yeah,
If you start breaking
exactly.
a few days or a day after eating something, then you're like, oh, my body didn't like that. Or
Mm-hmm.
when you do get your cycle and you have cramps and it's heavy and maybe you see a clot or two, you're like, okay, I need to clean up for
Mm-hmm.
the detox and make sure that and the blood is flowing as it should and there's no stagnation in the womb. Um, so it sucks that we went through this, but look at all the stuff that we learned, you know.
Right. Right. And our bodies are in a better position to just going forward. And my family told me all the time, man, I wish I would have got on the health and wellness thing when you did. And I was like, yeah, and I love that quote. If you live the way others won't, later you can live the way others can't.
Mm,
Because, yeah, because, I spent all those years cleaning up my diet. And so now, if I want to have some ice cream or if I want to, go a couple of weeks splurging with my diet, I can do that without breaking out or without having severe symptoms like I used to. So, but that's if I want. But I'm so glad that I'm not by myself with the whole, and even I'm looking at some of the comments of the ladies here. They're like the cravings were crazy after surgery. I had to check myself. So it's good that I feel, not so bad now because I'm like, oh my God, I can't get back to where I was. What is going on? So it's yeah.
it took, I think because the hormones, like I had mentioned in one of my videos, like once I realized, like, I don't know what I was going through after the myomectomy, if it was like some kind of chemical hormonal imbalance, because
Mhm.
sad, like for a long time, I just felt really sad. And I'm like, why do I feel like this? And I remember I went to my doctor and I'm like, I don't know if my hormones are off because the fibroids are out and maybe there's like excess estrogen in my system. I don't know
Yeah.
what. For months, I just felt so off. So it's really important, if you're feeling the cravings and you're feeling off balance, to just tackle it with some herbs. Tackle it with like ashwagandha really helped. I don't know if you're familiar with ashwagandha.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Actually, I got familiar with because of you though. I'd never heard of it until I watched one of your videos. I was like, what is this? I'm checking this.
yeah, it's the bomb. It
Mhm.
helped. And then just pay attention to your body. So
Yeah. And I kind of felt that way after surgery too. But I guess the it was more like anxious,
Mm-hmm.
and it was for reasons that I already addressed, like, okay, now the fibroids are gone. What do I do? What's my like what's my why now? And I know the why is like, okay, duh, to keep fibroids from coming back or to keep you from getting sick, but still it's like, okay, yeah, yeah, I hear that. I hear that, yeah. But, what's going to keep
Mm-hmm.
me on this path now? What if I can't do it? What if this happens? What if the fibroids come back? What if it and so it's just all this flood of negative thoughts kept
Yeah.
flooding my brain. I'm just like, I do not want to go through that again. And so, you know, I love the way my stomach look now, but oh God, what if it come back? What if so
Mm-hmm.
that's where the depression and the like feelings of just it just really lowered my outlook on my health because I was caught up in what ifing. What if so were there any like outside influences as far as like the difficulty conceiving, and were there any family members that were just like deeply influencing you? So hey, where the baby at? Or
Yeah. Um, yes, big time. A lot of pressure to produce. So my husband's side, his side of the family, he has like 10 brothers and sisters. So he has a really big family. And
wow.
so yeah, when y'all gonna have the baby and da da da, you know. Um, so when we finally got pregnant, I didn't want to tell anybody. Like I told my
Yeah.
boy in my family, like my mom and my sisters, but I didn't want to say anything just yet until I got to my second trimester. Um, but I think right when I was at around 7 weeks is when he told his family because he was just so happy and so excited. Um, and so, yeah, um, definitely some pressure there to have a baby and to start a family. But I think with just this awareness of what's been going on and what we've been going through, people have been a lot more sensitive to asking us,
Yeah.
where's the baby? Or, what's going on. So it's good to talk about it. It's hard to talk about it with family because you'll get some of these comments like, "Ugh, I've had, like, it's so easy for me to get pregnant. Like, I could, you know,
Good for you.
um, some of these comments like, oh, my man could just look at me and not get pregnant. Like, you want my, like, they just start saying,
And the unsolicited advice.
just relax, don't stress. Like,
Wait 10 days after your period, and I promise it's just going to happen. It's like,
my mom told me that one time too. She was like, you don't know how to track your cycle? I said, yes, I've been
yes,
tracking.
I know how to do. Are you kidding me? I've been in this for years. I
Hmm.
can probably teach you something.
Yeah. So getting
But
getting people, especially family, to understand that infertility is not a choice. It's actually like a real diagnosis. Like it's a real thing. Um,
yeah,
so yeah.
it's the same with me. I finally I just asked that question because I know that a lot of women who are on this journey, I mean, I can't say that every woman has encountered that, but I do know a lot of women do. It's like you said, it's not like I chose to, have my cycles every month when I'm trying for a baby. I didn't choose that, but I finally had to sit my family down, and because it's like you said, it's hard talking about it. For me, period. It's just hard to talk about it. I felt embarrassed, and I guess I felt like I was defined by infertility. Like, immediately someone to see me and label infertile. And I'm like, I don't want that, you know? So I just kind of dealt with it on my own and just like didn't say anything to anyone. I didn't open up to anyone about it. It was like my own private kind of struggle, myself and my husband. And so, you know, I didn't want the pity, I guess is what it is. I didn't want to be pitied. And, and plus, when I, you know, risk talking about it with family and friends, I risk them running their mouths to other people about what's going on to me. Because, you know, you do have those family members that cannot, for the life of them, keep people's business to themselves. You know, I told you, I didn't tell Sister Sue over here. I didn't tell this person. And so, so I just kept that to myself. And it was my own little personal badge of shame, which is how I looked at it for the longest time. But the reason why, you know, I am doing this live is because I'm like, I don't want to live like that anymore. Because, you know, I'm not defined by my body's ability to get pregnant, especially when I know that it can produce a baby. So, you know, what am I tripping about? And, you know, like I can be there for other women who are going through because, you know, we have that experience. We actually can relate to what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it got to the point where I had to talk to my family, something I did not want to do. I avoided like the plague, but I'm like, okay, in order for this to stop, because after the surgery, it got really bad. Before surgery, it's like, okay, you know, I can't wait for the baby.
So
You
when's
know, it's like,
yeah, when's the baby? I'm like, it's not.
I'll let you know. I don't know. So, but after the surgery, that was part of the negative thoughts that I was experiencing, the anxiety that I was feeling because, you know, it really became, oh, I can't wait for the baby. I can't wait for the baby. It's like, hey, hi, nice to see you. Hadn't seen you in a couple of weeks. Don't have the kid yet, but I'm here. How are you? You know, it's like me. And so it got to the point where I was just like, all right, guys. I just had to have that conversation with them, just like, you know, and it was just a really sweet one. You know, I know you guys are not doing this on purpose. I know that you wouldn't deliberately hurt me. I know that you're not trying to deliberately hurt me. I know this. But let me, you know, tell you where I am and how I feel with this. You know, going and I showed them that picture. It's a picture on social media that I'm sure you've seen. It's like this woman, she's sitting on the floor and she's surrounded by these pregnancy tests. And they're like all negative, and you got the people on each side of her. They got the like the microphones. They're like, you know, when are you gonna have a baby? You better hurry up before you get too old. So it's like all these,
Eggs dry up. So much.
yeah. So it's like all these negative, and she's sitting on the floor. She's just surrounded by negative pregnancy tests, and she's crying. So I sent that picture. I did in a text because we were getting ready to go on vacation, and I knew what the conversation was going to revolve around when we got on said vacation. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So, you know, maybe it is time to clue my family in on what I'm going through. And so I just talked to them like, you know, here's a picture. Take a really good look at this picture. This is how I have felt every month for about 4 years now. You know, I know you guys are not meaning to be hurtful. I know you would never deliberately hurt me. I know that. I just want to let you know how I feel about this. So going forward, you know, I would appreciate it if you guys would just, you know, unless I bring it up, just, you know, let's not discuss the whole baby thing or, you know, the pressure about having a baby, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just can we not do that anymore? And they were very understanding. You know, it's amazing the fears that I've built up in my mind. Like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to them about it. I don't." But they were very understanding. They're like, "I'm so sorry. This picture speaks volumes. I did not know that, you know, you were feeling like that." And they were. I mean, the support and the love that I've received after opening up has just been teary eyed, unreal. And it's, you know, this is why it's like stepping out on faith, being brave of the very thing that you're so afraid of is such an amazing thing because you never know the type of love, the support, the help that you can get and who you can help in the process.
Yeah. And who, like you said, whose life you can impact, who you could relate, who relate to you, you know?
Yep.
Um, so don't be ashamed of your story. It's scary. It's scary to go through it. And you remember a couple days ago, I was like, I don't know if I could do this.
Yeah.
Um, because there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things going on, but there's there's a lot of power in sharing. And I didn't share that I was pregnant with anybody outside of my family. But I shared after. And I don't know what made me do it because again, I was embarrassed that I even miscarried. I felt like I felt really bad about miscarrying. I felt like what did I do wrong? And I was backtracking like, what did I eat the day before or the day of, or what did I do? Or maybe I shouldn't have done.
Blame yourself, essentially.
Yeah, I was like what did I do wrong? And I was really embarrassed when I started miscarrying. Um, but sharing my story, it opened up so many other women to share with me. And I've received so many messages, I lost count, like probably 100 messages, personal messages of women.
Yeah.
I miscarried too. Like it happened to me too. There's some women that have had like
Mm.
this lady's live last week where she had like 10 miscarriages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
she had 10. She had an open myomectomy, and I think she's in the middle of um, an IVF cycle. And I mean, I don't even 10. So,
Wow. It really just put things in perspective. Like, okay, this might be rough, but you just never know what other people are going through. Because, like, I can only imagine, like, wow, that's a lot. That's heavy.
yeah.
That's really heavy.
Mm,
So, yeah, this and there's healing in sharing and helping others as well. There's a bit, I mean, you're sharing a piece of yourself, a piece of your story, but for me it's healing to help somebody else while, I'm waiting on my miracle. And so it's just there's a lot of I, I guess, I found something to do with all of that expectation or negative energy and stuff, and that's just to be a beacon of hope. It's really cool when women reach out to me and they're like, hey, I totally relate to you and your story. Thank you so much for sharing. It helps so much, you don't even know. Because it was hard for me to share my journey about fibroids. When I first started posting on Instagram, I was posting about my skin. I had really, really bad acne, and so my whole account was centered on acne. Even though I had fibroids, no one knew because it was, like you said, it's embarrassing. I just, the shame that goes with it. But I think, spiritually, like they say, tell the truth, shame the devil, or we overcome Satan by the word of our testimony. So that's kind of where I am now. It's like, okay, Satan, I may have gone through some stuff, but you're not gonna, keep me in a shameful state. You're not going to keep me down. This is my testimony.
yeah,
And I'm here to share it with others and, pull them out of that same shame and regret and all that dark pit, that
right.
dark hole.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
But you guys, did you have any questions? Well, it's a lot of comments and I can't see them all, but yeah, the cravings are insane after surgery. I have to check myself. But if you guys have any questions, don't feel free to post them here, or you can reach out to Vanessa and myself, and we'll be happy to answer.
Yeah.
That's what we do. And so, did you have anything else for me, girl? Before we
Um, there's some stuff I need to share with you, but
Oh, okay. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha. But yeah, guys. So unless you guys have any questions, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. And we thank you all so much for joining us here. And yeah, let me make sure. All
yeah,
right, well, if you guys,
I guess let's wait like a minute to see if
yeah.
anybody has any questions. I feel like we touched a lot of points.
Oh, I have one. It says, I think it's a private question, or you might be able to see this. What are some foods that comforted and nourished you post-op?
I guess I'll go first. So after I had my surgery, before I had surgery, I was primarily vegan, and then after, my mom came to visit to take care of me, and my mom cooked all the stuff that I wasn't accustomed to eating. So my mom made salmon, and she made rice, and she made labouille, and she made.
Oh, mom.
I was on some pain medications, and I needed to put something in my stomach. So
Yeah.
um, Mama's food was very comforting. Uh, I also found, as far as healing goes, pineapples were really, really good for just
Mm.
helping the tissues heal and for the scar to heal. My scar healed very flat. Um, so pineapple juice, I drank that every day for like 2 weeks post-op. Um, and then sea moss, of course, helped a lot. And mama's good food. So
Well, I didn't have mama's good food. My mom, bless her heart, I just love her to pieces. she she showed up with some of the things that I used to eat before I started cleansing, and that would be Reese's Pieces,
oh my gosh.
s'mores, and and I'm just like, oh, mommy, thank you so much. I love you, but I didn't even say anything. I was just like, "Oh, mommy, thank you so much." She know full doggone well I don't eat this stuff, but she wanted to be mom. But the foods that really helped me, especially as soon as the surgery was done. I mean, I was still in the hospital,
Mhm.
but I knew that constipation. I was a nursing. You are a nurse, I think. And
Yes.
so I was a nursing student, and I just remember how a lot of people post-op had issues with constipation. And so I was just like, I don't want a number. I don't want to not number two. So I want to eat some foods that are going to help me to number two. And like the day after I had surgery, I had bowel movement. And so what helped me when I was actually in the hospital is I wouldn't eat the hospital food, even though I was starving. And it looked it was something that ordinarily I wouldn't have eaten, but because I was so hungry, I was very tempted. So my husband would go and he'll get like I wouldn't eat salads because I was kind of afraid of the roughage from the salads, but I would eat like a lot of fruit, grapes, like you said, pineapples, and then another thing was aloe vera. I would make a smoothie with the aloe vera plant because I knew aloe vera helped cure constipation, and it really, really helped. Of course, you have to have a pillow over your stomach when you're having about because the pain is just oh my god, to laugh, to cough, to sneeze, it was
Yes.
insane. No one told me that the pain would be
Come out.
oh my god, it was so painful, it was so terrible.
Mhm.
So and then of course they're like cough, breathe, and I'm like okay, I'll do the best I can, but anyway. But yeah, so I ate a whole lot of fruit, whole lot of veggies, pretty much any veggie you can think of. cooked and raw, and a whole lot of fruits. And then when I did eat cooked food, it was like a veggie wrap or something like that from Tropical Smoothie Cafe, veggie wrap with hummus and stuff like that. So for like 2 weeks after, I went to the grocery store before I had the surgery. 2 weeks after, I pretty much ate like that just to help my body to heal faster and to make sure I was having constant bowel movements for healing. And I mean, it helped, I guess, because I didn't really have an issue healing at all. Did you have an issue healing?
No. My surgeon did an excellent job. Um,
Yeah.
bless his heart. He had I, when he described the work that he had to do to get the fibroids out, he basically said that my uterus, he had to cut me in 4 places.
Oh, wow.
Uterus, like Humpty Dumpty. He's like, I had to cut the back and then I had to put it together and I had to do this and I had to do that. He's like, I've never seen anything like this in all my years of practice.
Whoa. So, wow.
Because you remember I had the UFE beforehand
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it shrunk them down and and they were calcified and they were bursting and all this craziness.
Oh
So
my gosh.
it was it was really bad.
Oh, yeah. I
I,
completely forgot about that.
I had asked him for pictures because I wanted to see too, and I couldn't even. He's like, just trust me, it was bad. Like he couldn't even. I think he took the pictures and he sent it. He had meant to give it to me, and they ended up going to medical records and they ended up getting lost. So
Oh,
yeah, but
oh.
but
So you don't have any traumatizing pictures from your surgery? Oh, oh well. It's just as well. At least they're gone. That's what matters.
exactly. Um,
Yeah.
the healing process, it wasn't bad at all. I feel like physically I was good. And like you said, eating good before surgery, right? Change
Mm,
beforehand, I feel like my body was able to take it and to recover quicker.
yeah, totally bounced back. So, especially in watermelon because I had surgery in August, so watermelon was still. So I mean, I was eating plenty of watermelon. So a lot of my meals were mono meals, and they were just just the regular fruit bowls and stuff. And so, and it really helped. That and sleep really helped my body to bounce back.
Good, that's good.
Did y'all use an abdominal binder during post-op? Heck yeah. I mean, not an abdominal. I didn't use an abdominal binder. That's the what you hold over your stomach, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I used a pillow because I didn't have an abdominal binder for some reason. I did the research before surgery, what are you going to need? But I missed that one. But the hospital gave me one, but I still didn't really, I just used a pillow. And so whenever I had to cough or sneeze, laugh, go to the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
my handy pillow was with me.
Yeah. I didn't have a abdominal binder either. I just try to let things be. I didn't try to compress the area or do anything
Oh
like
wow. So you were a soldier. You were a total G because I had to have a pillow or
really.
something.
Well, I had a small pillow, like if I needed to cough or use the bathroom or something like that. But
Oh yeah.
that binder, like that compression binder, um,
Mm,
my doctor didn't tell me to use that.
yeah. That was probably the most painful part of the surgery after post-op. It's just that um the abdominal pain, and it only happened really when I put force on it, laughed, coughed, and things of that nature.
Yeah. All right. Somebody question, why are us Black women more likely to get fibroids?
Do you have a? Because I can only say what I suspect because I'm not sure, honestly. It could be I mean, I would say due to our diet, but a lot of women of other color or other races have fibroids as well. But it is predominantly African American women
Mm.
with fibroids. And I think spiritually, I can go there because physically, I'm honestly not sure. But spiritually, I'm very spiritual. And so I read up a lot, the Bible and other things like covenants, ancestral curses, generational curses, and things of that nature. Based on what I've experienced, and especially like spiritual encounters, dreams, and education, and things of that nature, it seems like a lot of us derive, especially Africans, African Americans, and I hope I don't offend anyone, but this is just based on my experience, is that a lot of things spiritually, because I do think that sickness happens spiritually first, then it happens physically. So, so it could be ancestral lineage, things that maybe our parents, grandparents, great grandparents have done. If you do read the Bible, then, it says that I will visit the iniquity upon the fourth generation. So your great grandparents could have done some things that went against God's will for their life. And then because of that, your parent or your grandparents, then your parents, then it's passed down to each generation. Again, I believe that it starts spiritually before it manifests physically. But so I'm thinking maybe some type of ancestral generational lineage that a lot of us African Americans have dabbled into, or a lot of our ancestors have dabbled into and never broke that. And that's why, again, this is based on my experience and based on the dreams that I've had, based on the readings that I've done. So, this is just something that I believe. But physically, I honestly, I'm not sure, Vanessa.
Um, I do agree with the spiritual um, aspect of things and things, I guess, manifesting in the spirit first before it comes to present. Sometimes we see that. Um,
Mm.
so, and just this is just from my experience, um, I feel like I developed the fibroids around a time in my life where there was a lot of trauma and a lot of physical and emotional traumas that occurred
Mm.
in my life. And so, as a result of that happening for some years, once I kind of saw the light and was able to breathe a little bit, it was like, oh, you have a small fibroid. And I didn't
Yeah.
make the connection at the time. And I kind of continued some of the things that I was doing in the past. And it just grew and grew. And then it just got to a point where it was like, wait, huh?
Like, how
Huh?
did my stomach go from flat to like me looking? Because for me, it happened so fast. I mean, one minute my stomach was flat, and I mean, because my husband and I got married in 2015. This was May 2015. And I knew something was wrong even then. Like I was in so much pain on my wedding day, I could barely walk down the aisle. And by the time, I spent my wedding night in a fetal position, curled up on the bed crying because I was in so much pain. My period had come on my wedding night, and I knew something was wrong then. I didn't know I had fibroids, but I don't remember if my stomach was particularly starting to show signs of fibroids back then. But so that was May. In October is when, because that's when my stomach was so big and so hard. My husband was like, are you pregnant? And I was like, I don't think so. I tested, I wasn't. So he's like, you really need to get that checked out. Go and get it checked out. It's fibroids. And that's when, I mean, it just happened so fast. One minute my stomach was flat and I had the problems, the symptoms were there, but the next minute it's huge. And I don't know. It's so.
Hmm.
Yeah, like you said, it just, I don't know if it was from trauma. I did have a lot of trauma with exes and such. Could be.
Yeah. That on top of the inflammatory foods, on top of, you
Right,
know,
it doesn't help.
environmental factors and chemicals and the pads. And I used to wear, this might be TMI for the guys, but this is a woman's chat. So I used to wear the always pad with the blue dye or whatever the
So yeah, unhealthy feminine products.
so didn't know about that, the tampon use, birth control at a young
Yeah,
age. All these things kind of just play a part into developing imbalances in the body, especially in the womb. Um,
definitely. And we
so
were told that it was normal. It was normal for us to have crappy, that time of the month. Be
yeah,
prepared. You're gonna be on the couch. You're gonna be crying. You're gonna be moody and miserable. It's just a rite of passage for a woman, just accept it.
right.
And we just accepted it as the norm. And we've seen our older sisters, our parents, our mother, we've seen them go through it, and it's just like, okay, well, when it's my turn, then I guess I'm gonna be miserable every month too. So,
But that's the
and
sign. That's the womb is telling you. And I hope women that are watching this are really listening to what we're saying. Your period is telling you is and will tell you when something is wrong.
yes, it will.
Your period should not be I guess 7 days is the average, but I will tell you that after I had the myomectomy, my cycle was down to 3 days, 3 or 4.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It got that way eventually for me, but pretty much, yeah.
it was like 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, where did my period go? Because
Like I knew it shouldn't have been 12 days. I knew it shouldn't have been 10 days. Like you said, 7 days, I'm like, okay. But when it got down to like 4 days, even five days was kind of the norm for me before I had surgery. But when it got down to like 4 days, I was like, is this what it's like to
have
be
a normal,
healthy? Yeah. It's like, this is awesome.
right? Um, so definitely pay attention to your cycles. There's actually a book that I am going to purchase and start doing my research on learning the cycle because it tells you so much about what you did last month, how hydrated you are, how hydrated your womb is,
The
just
color,
so many different
color
things. We got to pay attention to what our bodies is trying to tell us. Like we should know when we're ovulating. We should have the signs of ovulation. We should know
is
certain things. We shouldn't just leave it up to chance and just think
right.
this is yeah. When I get my period, I take 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol, and I take this, and I feel like crap, and I throw up, and I do all this. Like that's not normal.
It's not normal. It may be, it was common, but definitely not normal. And so it's exactly like you said, the signs are there. Like even now, my period will tell me you were a bad girl this past month. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I was. I guess I was. So
Yes. Okay, I see a question. Any major weight loss after the myomectomy?
for me, it was just the fibroid. I lost exactly the amount of pounds that the fibroids were. The largest fibroid was 4 pounds. It was like a 4.5 pounder. And I compared that too at the grocery store. Like the weight, the little weight at in the produce section. I went and put like a bag of oranges in the weight thing, and it wasn't even 4 pounds. So I got like a mini melon, like a little small cantaloupe, and put it on the little scale, and it was almost 4 pounds. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You mean to tell me I was carrying the fibroid that weighed this much? Like carrying a baby should be no problem. Then it's
Right.
like, and I carried the thing for 6 years.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, after surgery, I lost like 7 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
and But that was it because I was maintaining my weight with eating. I didn't lose my appetite or anything, so I just lost the amount of weight
Of the five,
that fibroids. Yeah.
I lost 8 pounds. Um, I was like 111 before surgery, and after surgery, I went down to 103. So I got,
Wow.
mm-hmm.
It's amazing how much those things weigh. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my God, that's as big as my baby when wow, 4 pounds and 10 ounces. Yeah. And I looked at that thing and I'm like, it was a demonic baby. It was a baby as far as the weight of it and the length. It was a baby. And I have that video on my YouTube channel if you guys want to watch it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm seeing another question. What are you
Okay.
your scar?
What it says.
What are you putting on your scar? I guess to make.
Oh, to heal it. Did you put anything on yours?
I got some olive oil, and what I did was let's say this was the scar.
Mm-hmm.
I stretched it like this to break up that scar tissue. So
Girl, game changer.
yeah, so just regular olive oil, and occasionally just go like that, and it'll help loosen up that scar tissue. But I didn't start doing that until I was like maybe 2 months post-op.
Oh, because I hear you mention your scar a lot and you're like it's flat and I'm like because mine isn't it's not ugly, but it's not flat. In some places, like on the side, it is flat, but like in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
it's flat here, but like in the middle it's kind of like I guess keloidy
Okay.
a little bit. So it's keloidy, and I didn't put anything actually on the scar. She used
Yeah.
glue to seal me up. And so I didn't put anything on it. But again, it's not ugly. It's my war wound, but I didn't put anything on it. But that is a total game changer for anyone who's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
getting ready to head to surgery. I wish I had known that before I went to surgery.
You could still do it now. You can just do like light massages on the area, even around like your tubes, around your womb, just some oil and just get things circulating. So,
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely will do that. If you don't mind me asking, what are you guys doing to try to conceive? Nope, that's why we're here. Um, right now, actually, Vanessa has some really, really amazing things. She has a video um, of the things that she took in order to get pregnant naturally, right?
yeah. What are we doing to TTC? So I'll just give you a quick rundown. So, um, uh, I guess it's more than a quick rundown, but I think it helps to know where you are in terms of your fertility. So, get all the blood tests done. Check your hormones. Um, check your tubes. Make sure that your tubes are open. Make sure you get an ultrasound so that you can confirm there's no blockages or anything within the womb. Make sure your hormones are in check. Make sure you're ovulating every month. You're having your cycle regularly. And then you want to cater to your body and start treating your body as if you're pregnant. So, making sure you're getting your prenatals in, your diet is adequate enough. Like treat your body as if you're pregnant, and that was something that I did before I conceived. So prior to me having prior to me getting pregnant, I was really focused on a fibroid healing kind of diet. Like, what foods can I eat that's not going to make me get fibroids or make them grow any bigger? But that's not from in my experience. I don't think it's necessarily what my body needed for pregnancy. Um,
Mhm.
so I started doing some research on, well, what can I give my body to support a pregnancy and to support my fertility? And I found that a Mediterranean diet was actually more ideal for pregnancy and for for fertility. So salmon, you know, is high in omega-3s. Um, if you're going to eat meat, so you'll do like salmon, you could do fish, vegetables, nuts, lots of water, um, greens, things like that. And so I actually went Mediterranean like 2 months before I got pregnant. And when I was pregnant, I kept continuing to eat like that. My baby loved fish so much, and I ate fish 2 months before I conceived. And my baby was actually his due date was in is supposed to be in February. He was going to be an Aquarius, or no, he was going to be a Pisces, which is a fish. So it's funny how I craved fish before I
He
got.
loves fish.
Yeah. So treat your body like you're pregnant already. Give your body the nutrients that it needs to support pregnancy. Get tested, you know, make sure your partner also gets checked too, because
Mhm.
sometimes you could do everything and you think that it's you, but it's really your man that has the problem.
Exactly.
So definitely look into that. Any prenatals you recommend? Well, you know, I conceived with it's called EU Natural. They're on Amazon. It's called Glow Prenatal. And I took that for like 2 months and then I conceived. So I don't know what's in those prenatals, but they worked for me. Um, so
That is amazing. Yeah, have to check that out.
um but yes, make sure you guys are taking your men to get their man parts checked, make sure that the motility is good, that the counts are where it needs to be, because they would swear up and down, I'm good, I'm healthy, I'm straight. Like,
Yeah, we gonna find out.
right. So funny because we as women have to do so much. We have to go through all these tests, all these ultrasounds, all these things. And for the man, it's really just that part, just that one test.
Yeah.
Just that one.
So,
It took him 3 years to finally go with me to the doctor because um after I had the myomectomy, we were trying for months and nothing was happening. And then so I kind of I switched the focus on him, and
yeah, he's like,
I done did this surgery already. I did 3 surgeries.
I've
Everything
addressed my diet.
right. I've addressed my diet, clean. Um, I work, so maybe it's you. And he's like, I'm good. I'm like, well, prove it. We went to the appointment. Oh my gosh. It was really funny. You got to go with them to the appointment. Well, my man wanted me to go, but I guess some guys want to go by themselves. I don't know, but just make sure you.
She's not kidding though. We had the same thing. My husband, he wanted to go. Actually, he wants to go. We just haven't. We're like, I guess we're still like, okay, we're young in the game, but not as in young in the trying to conceive game.
Yeah.
So, but still, it's like, no, let's do this because you told me this. You're like, girl, do the HSG because I think in one of my videos. I was like, my doctor was like, okay, so we're going to test your tubes. And I'm like, I just got through with the myomectomy. Okay, all the trauma, I don't want to do this right now. And plus, it's the fear there. What if I encounter some bad news? What if they tell me something I don't want to hear? And I'm just like, no, I don't want to go through that. But like you were like, go do it, make sure that, you guys are okay. And I'm like, okay, so I made an appointment. You'll be happy to know that I made an appointment with my doctor
Yay!
next week so you can see what's up and make sure everything's flowing good. So,
Okay.
um,
Do you know,
but
I'm sorry to cut you off, but do you play with like the castor oil pack process?
You know, a lot of women talk about that, but I've never done the castor oil pack. See, for me, it's like so it does help with TTC. Like I didn't know if it helped with that, but I knew it helped with period pains. But I
Mhm.
never really had period pains, so I never did the castor oil pack.
Okay. I mean, I did it like before that HSG, the second one that I did. I did it for like honestly like every day, like up until the appointment time because I'm
Mm.
flushed and clean. So and I did I drank my herbal teas for like a
Oh
good,
yeah.
and I mean the dye went straight through, like no issues. So if you have the time, if not, you can do your teas or whatever, um, to get your body.
I do want to try the castor oil packs though, because I mean, women swear by it, and I'm like, but as far as like the pain and the stuff like that, but I think I've read that it's just really good for the reproductive system overall. So
Yes,
yeah,
and get the toxins flow in and get them out and things like that.
right. So yeah, I think I do. I think I want to try that. I started the process back in the day. But I think I read one bad article and it just kind of turned me off the whole thing because it's like, okay, you have to get your, organic cold press, casserole. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. But then they're like, you got to get this type of pack, make sure it's made from the finest lamb, skin. And I'm just like, where am I going to get this? I forget it. I don't even have bad cycles anyway. Just forget it. So I was just like, forget this. Forget that process.
Yeah,
But that's definitely something to revisit or yeah, to revisit.
yeah, if you have the time. So for
That's
sure.
like my C-section scar. It's keloidy too. Would you recommend castor oil packs or massage a few weeks or months post-op? Castor oil is supposed to be good for healing scar tissue.
I would, but I would wait probably like 2 months after just to let things kind of heal up a little bit before you start. Because the castor
Introducing stuff.
very, it's detoxing. So
Yeah. So you're already healing, but you don't want to introduce something that's gonna, I guess, increase the detoxing or healing is it's already enough on its own.
fragile enough. So
I heard taking ovacitol. Have you ever heard of that? For hormones, helps the chances for pregnancy.
I have heard that for women, I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I think that is beneficial if you have like PCOS or problems with ovulating.
Hmm. Okay. So, not sure about that, but as she said, just do your research
Hmm.
and then decide for yourself.
Yeah. Hey,
Even though I might have heard of it briefly, I'd like to know more. I'm not sure about that, but it's a lot of women that are interested in. I hope I'm not mispronouncing it. Is it
ov-
ovacitol?
Ovacitol or something like that.
Yeah. They don't want you to say, oh, you talking about the men. Make him go. Girl, I don't have to make him. He's actually willing to go get tested, to
Oh,
get checked out.
hasn't gone yet?
No, he hasn't gone yet. Because, Vanessa, don't look at me like that. I know, I've been putting stuff off, but okay. I'll keep you posted about about everything. I will.
When you guys are ready, when is the right time?
Well, yeah, and I guess that's the thing too. I guess it just depends on, everyone because my thing was like, okay, I'm good. I'm a healthy woman. I mean, I've done all of this. I'm good. But, I've also, if anything, the myomectomy has taught me is that it's okay to get outside help. for your healing or to, get you the results that you need or want. So, you know, yeah, that's where I am right now. Some
I t-
ladies asked about belly binders and what you use to heal your scars post-op. Okay, we did that. Did the hospital send you home with a spirometer? Yes, they did,
yeah.
to do breathing exercises post-op. Yes. And I used mine faithfully when I was in the hospital too, because, she's a nurse. And as I stated, I was a nursing student. So I would make my patients use the spirometer because, there's the risk of not only infection, but pneumonia after surgery. So I'm like, okay, I ain't dealing with that. I'm going to work these lungs. I don't care how my belly hurt. We're going to do this. And my husband would make me do it.
Curious, how long was your surgery?
Um, I have to ask my husband because I forgot. I think it was like maybe 2 hours.
Okay.
Maybe. Did he say how long yours was?
It was supposed to be an hour and a half, and it ended up being 4 hours.
Oh yeah, wow.
Um,
So he had
yeah,
he
so
had some things to work around. Yeah, he had some things to work around, but I will never forget that. I was so excited. I was so excited. I was just sitting there, just waiting because they had to put me off. It was an emergency surgery. Someone had an ectopic pregnancy. And so they had to take her in first. And I was just like, okay. And I was just laying in the bed, just super excited. I wasn't even scared. When it was finally time for me to have that surgery, I hopped on that operation table so fast. I'm like, I'm ready. Take me. Just do what you got to do to get this crap out. I'm so ready. So, but yeah, it was about 2 hours.
okay.
What
Yeah.
are some foods? Okay, I already answered that one.
Anybody have any other questions?
Y'all are doing a great job with catching and answering these questions. We are trying. How often do you use castor oil packs a week?
Um,
Have you?
I I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't use it as much as I would like to because it's so messy. Um, it's a messy thing to do, but maybe once every couple of months. I feel like when I did have the fibroids, I was using it a lot more, because I was
Mhm.
a lot more. Um, but now it's just like every once in a while that I'll go ahead and do it. Looking back, do you think UFE is worth it or getting the surgery? So, I've talked about this in one of my videos that just me personally, that um, because I had so many complications after the UFE, like the fibroids were degenerating. One of like two of them were, I have like kind of a crazy story, but um, so after I had the UFE, um, the fibroids started bursting and causing me a lot of issues. And then when I went in for my myomectomy, the doctor thought that I only had 3 fibroids. But after the UFE, the one of the biggest fibroids that I had actually produced 2 more fibroids in like behind it. And
Wow.
it was eating away because it had lost its blood supply and it was embedded in the wall of my uterus, and it was actually eating away at the healthy tissue in my uterus.
Oh my God.
So had I not did the myomectomy when I did it,
Mm-hmm.
I've potentially like lost my entire uterus if I would have just left it like that.
Oh wow.
There was also some concern, and I had to do some testing because the doctor had suspected that the particles that they insert when they do the UFE, that it had like backflowed in my ovaries and caused like some damage there. So it was just different things that I wish that I had never gotten the UFE, but it's a part of my story. Can't change it, can't take it
Can't
back.
take it back. So it is what it is. I know someone who did, I don't know if you ladies have ever heard of Excessa. And that's when, yeah, because I have a cousin who did that, Excessa, and it seems to me that a lot of women who got that procedure, like it just created a lot more problems on the back end because I've only heard from those two ladies who've done the Excessa, but both of them have said that ever since they've done the procedure, it just created more problems. The pain got more unbearable. The periods got worse, and I think it essentially kills the fibroid in you.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, do your body just eat it up, or like it's just there?
It's like I guess it's kind of like the UFE where the blood supply is zapped off to the
It
fiber,
just stops
and the
just
fiber
cut off. Oh wow.
die in you. Like you could literally feel them fighting and dying like in you.
Oh wow.
It was horrible. Like that pain.
And I think I felt that like naturally, just, just on the natural route, eating the food, taking care of myself. Like there were times where I felt like something in me was dying. And
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, is this what it feels like to heal or to kill these things? Because I'll keep doing it. If I could just kill them, I don't care. But no,
Yeah, they don't go down without a fight. Trust me. They they ready to scrap. They like this is my home, this is my territory, and you're like, it's time for you to
or get out. It's not. So that's why I got to the point where I'm like, they need to be evicted. Okay. But I do still believe in natural healing. I 100% believe in healing from fibroids with diet, exercise, herbs, and things of that nature. I think it just depends on your situation. It depends. I get that question a lot. I think it just depends. The fibroids that I had were just so big that they had to come out. And so that was a hard pill for me to swallow too, because I was the type of person, don't talk to me about surgery. I don't want to hear it. Don't bring it up. You bring it up, you're disrespecting me. So I don't want to hear it. But, it got to a point where I was just like, because I was just like, God gonna heal me. He gonna do it. And when I had to have surgery, it's just like, I don't know. I couldn't make sense of it. I couldn't make sense of it all.
yeah. No, it's understandable. It's almost that feeling of like surrender, right? When you've tried
Yeah.
tried all you could and like I really don't want to do this surgery, but I don't know what else to do, God. And
hmm And is this what you want me to do? I mean, do you want me to wait on you? Do you want me to wait? Because I had to pray a lot before I had surgery,
mhm,
just to make sure that I was doing the right thing. Like, Lord, is this what you want me to do? And I guess, I never really got a yes or, no, I never really got that. But I just felt okay with going through with it. I mean, there was, of course, the like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. But it's like you said, it was, surrender. Maybe, a lot of times God just wants us to surrender. And, He gives these people, they got this intelligence and this training for a reason. So, doctors were put here to help us get better. And
right,
then, there are things that we can do, of course, to ensure that they don't come back or to take care of ourselves. So I got to the point I dealt with that for a long time after surgery.
mhm,
And finally, probably like really up until probably last month, I was just like, because I could not let it go. I'm like, why did I have to have surgery? But why? But I finally was just like,
you
my
know,
husband was like, it is what it is, babe. Healing comes in different forms. You don't know everything. You never will. So I was
right,
like,
exactly. It's just your assignment, your test is it's what was written. God already knew that you were gonna go through it, and He knew.
yeah, right.
He, like He already knew, and I could tell you, like before I had after I had my first surgery, my mom had a dream that a black, I think she said it was like a black doctor. I was at a doctor's office. She was with me, and the doctor told me that I would have many children. And yeah, and it was like after I had my first surgery that didn't work, and I'm like, okay. And so, every time I get kind of down about like just the fertility process and stuff like that,
Mhm.
I call her and she just reminds me, like, you remember God promised that you would have many children, so don't even worry about it. It's going to happen in God's divine timing. It's okay. And then, I get encouragement from my husband too, like, you know, our baby is just a special baby, and the baby want everything to be cleaned up before he can. So we just
Yeah.
got to take these situations and know that God is with us, and there's a greater reason why we're going through these things. There's,
Yeah. And we may not be able to make sense of everything, but it'll all come together.
mm-hmm,
It'll all come. The Lord knows I can't make sense of everything. This journey has been, you get the women who ask you the questions and you give them the information that you've uncovered or, that's worked for you, that's helped you. But essentially, honestly, I'll let you in on a secret. And this is just me. A lot of the stuff I don't know. I don't know. I don't, it takes a lot of faith, a lot of prayer, and a lot of doing the things that you know is right. Like we all know that we should take care of ourselves physically, spiritually, and emotionally.
mm-hmm,
But, some of this other stuff, like, the women who have healed from fibroids without surgery, that's amazing. And it's awesome. But, there are some things that I just can't answer because I don't know. All I can give you is what's worked for me and what I've heard has worked for others
mm-hmm.
for the most part.
Right. Yep. Like we're all on our own path. I mean, God bless the women that have fibroids and make it full term with their babies. I mean,
Hmm. And
there's,
I know people like that, women like that too.
mhm,
Personally know them.
yeah. So we're all on our own unique journey, but
Yeah. So to compare yourself, well, why can't I be like her? Why can't I, comparing is just such a dangerous thing to do
mhm.
because more often than not, at least in my situation, I can't speak for everyone else, it never really works out exactly like somebody else's situation. It just doesn't. No matter how many times I do it, because I do find myself comparing. We
Mhm.
all probably done it, but it just never really worked out the way somebody else's journey. This woman managed to get pregnant and deliver with fibroids. This woman managed to heal without surgery. Um, mm, just never really work out. Even my story is different from someone else's. I had surgery and didn't have any complications afterward. Some other woman might. So everyone's different.
Right. And you hear about some women that I don't want to like scare anybody, but I had one of the reasons that I went and did the myomectomy when I did. I actually, before I had the myomectomy, like you, I was kind of back and forth, like,
Mhm.
you don't want to get cut. I don't want to get cut. I don't want to. And I had met women that told me you are doing the right thing by getting this addressed now, like before it gets too big. Um,
Mhm.
my friends that I've known for many years, she got pregnant with fibroids. She lost the baby, and then she went into kind of a state of depression, and the fibroids continued to grow and grow and grow, and she ended up having a hysterectomy, so she never had kids. Then there was a doctor that I used to work with that went in for a myomectomy after she had completed med school. So she had suffered throughout her entire
Oh,
med
wow.
with the fibroid issues, but she wasn't in a position to do the surgery until she actually was done.
Finished. Mm-hmm.
By the time she went in for her surgery, they had to take her whole uterus. So she
Oh,
had kids. Then there was like a ultrasound tech that was doing my scans one day when I still had the fibroids, and she had shared with me, she said, um, you need to get this taken care of. Like, I never had kids because of the fibroids. She had a hysterectomy. So it was all these women that,
it was all that fear. Yeah, it's same. Because I'm like, oh, I heard this story about this person. I heard this story about this person. And what if they have to take it? Then you have to sign
yeah,
the paperwork before you have surgery. Like if they deem that something is totally necessary to save your life,
they,
AK, pretty much saying, hey, if we have to take your womb, you give us the okay. And it's just like, oh my gosh.
yeah,
So there's always, but I think that's like a small percentage, but again, I don't study the stats, but everyone's story is different. And most of the women who have gone for myomectomies, have not had to go through that.
right.
So,
Yep.
what type of exercises do you do? I'm a heavy lifter, and my doctor said it might add to the rate mine's grew. How is exercise after surgery? Mm, I had tried to do Pilates after surgery. It was like 6 weeks after surgery. It was an epic fail.
Ah,
But that's Pilates. So I was just like, yeah, this hurts way too much. But that was 6 weeks after I had surgery. But as far as like lifting, I don't lift much. Do you exercise much? I do skate and bike and walk. Like I do exercises that way, but I don't do any lifting and cardio.
mm,
Your doctor said it might add to the rate that yours grew with you doing heavy lifting. That's interesting.
that is,
Yeah, that's interesting. Did you ask how so? Because I'm not sure about that one. I'm sorry. Fibroids are muscles, yeah.
I have, hold on.
I was gonna reach for mine too. My chest there, my lip.
Um,
Yeah, I was gonna reach for mine too.
and said, the SAVE trauma therapist said, in March I was contemplating hysterectomies because of the pain. In May, God told me I'd have a daughter, and I got pregnant a month later, and it's a girl. Oh, congratulations.
Let me see. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, there it is. I was like, where is this comment? Contemplating history. See, you just never know how God's gonna bless you. Thank you guys so much. He has not forgotten you. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Any other questions, you guys? Well said. Hey, Tina. And resilient. I'm just reading over some of these comments, you guys. Any other questions, just throw them in there. But yeah, stay true to God. His promises are true. You're absolutely right. So that's what keeps me going. Oh, Fuller Quest says that Fibroid Queen talks about which exercises to do. So to answer your question, just Fibroid Queen, she talks a lot about which exercises to do. I've seen her do a couple of exercises on her platform as well. So yeah, that that'd be a great way to answer that question. It's just to look her up, and because Lord knows I need to exercise. I just, just yeah, I really do. I just don't. Or
I,
at least not like that. Like I said, I'll go walking. I'll ride my bike. I'll
mhm.
skate occasionally. In the summer, I'll swim,
Okay.
and I do try to stay active. But that's the bulk of it.
Mhm.
Comparison is the thief of joy. Hallelujah. Yes. So it's just can't do that.
Mhm. All right, ladies. Any other questions?
Yeah. Give you guys a minute if you have any other questions. If not, then thank you guys so much for joining us. It has been lovely and fun, just like I knew it was going to be, and very insightful. I hope that it's helped someone and given somebody hope.
Right.
And just be encouraged. Be encouraged. It's not an easy journey, no, but you're not alone.
Mhm.
You are 100% not alone. What a wonderful and beautiful testimony. Thanks. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I think that's it.
Yeah.
So we're going to end here then. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us. Yeah, Vanessa. So you guys can follow her for more tips. And you can follow myself also for more fibroid tips. And Vanessa's channel, her YouTube channel is.
I recently switched the name to Vanessa's Journey.
I love it.
And I
So
share
the
my just my story, and I'm going to start sharing more of my TTC journey. There's some things that's in the works with the baby number two. So I'm going to be opening up more and just letting God do his work. So,
Awesome. Yay. And so you guys can follow my channel as well, Sandro's Natural World. And yeah, I just share different recipes of womb healing food. And I'm going to start sharing some of more of my trying to conceive journey as well, because something I haven't done up until now. Vanessa has actually given me the courage to do that. So thank you for that. So I'm going to start doing that and just join the community. Oh, and Fuller Quest is here too. So you guys can join her. She has a great platform as well about fibroids and different recipes, how to heal and stuff like that. So that's another good platform to follow. And let's just stay in contact, ladies.
yes. All right. Well, you guys have a great Saturday. It's been so
Yeah.
sad. And again,
So,
both if you guys have questions, okay?
all righty. See you later. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Let me see how I end this thing.
Oh, see if you can save it so that we could put it on
Okay, I definitely will.